Good morning, Misfits. Alrighty, we have an interesting show today because I am obviously live right now. This is the moment we are in. But I'm gonna be playing you the in studio episode from well shit, what day was that? Monday, maybe? Fucking I don't remember. And I did this 2.5 hour conversation. Didn't know it was gonna go 2.5 hours. We just kept talking and talking and talking with Karys Rhea, and it was really fun. But Rumble threw a curveball at me yesterday. We are in the creator program now, guys. Congratulations. Yay. I should probably like pre-record the stuff on these buttons that I have. I have these buttons, and if I push one, it could do like the applause thing. But I don't know how to work that shit. So but yeah, I got into the creator program, and as you know, if you've been watching, there was these requirements, and the requirements are you got to do 30 hours every month, every 30 days. You got to do 30 hours in 30 days. You have to do what I thought was 5 ad reads, and on top of that, what was the third one? I don't fucking even remember. I thought that was it. I don't know. But anyway, I end up getting into the fucking program, and it was like, oh, you have to. All right, so let me read off now. Now, in order to stay in the program, we got to do the 30 hours. There needs to be total unique chatters, 20. We are at 13 after one episode. Don't think we're gonna have a problem with that. 200 hours watched. We're about halfway there after one episode. Don't think we're gonna have a problem with that. And then we gotta raid people 5 times a month, and I'm perfectly fine with that. We're gonna raid LFA. We're either gonna raid Jeremy or Sean every episode. That's not a problem. The only one that I'm not happy with is Rumble Premium exclusive hours streamed. You need to hit 5 hours. So what that means is I need to take away content from people, and I don't like doing that. But I do want to stay in the creator program. Also, I think it would be good to do exclusive content, and give people an incentive to head over to Rumble, because I really do believe in Rumble. So here's what we're going to do. Today, we're going to do an hour on Rumble. I'm going to start the episode from me with Karys, and then at 9 a.m. Eastern, we're going to switch over to Rumble. This is a 2.5 hour interview. So at 10 a.m. Eastern, we're gonna raid Sean Farish, and then we'll knock out an hour and a half of the premium content. And then what I'm gonna try to do is probably do I don't know whether or not I want to do a half hour or so every episode of premium, or if I want to just do a full Friday show of premium. So you guys let me know what you think in the chat. Would you rather have the whole episode 3 days a week and one premium episode, or would you rather have just a small the last 30 minutes of each show be premium? I see TPH already has premium, so if you're already in premium, you're not going to have to worry about this. And speaking of premium, let's just in case you guys aren't aware of Rumble Premium, let's go ahead and let's pop on an ad for Rumble Premium, because I'm not even sure if we have to do the ads anymore. But might as well. I mean, we can. We can do them. We might not have to do them, but we can do them. All right, Rumble Premium here. We have the minimum viewers. Let's go. Good, because I hate ads. Yeah, I don't like the ads either. So I don't think I'll do them. I mean, I'm gonna make it says 13 cents I'm gonna make for doing this, but I'm pretty sure I don't need to do the ad reads, which will be great. I don't want to do ads, but let's do one just because it tells you where to go for what we're going to need to do. All right. You've probably noticed Rumble is growing fast and it's not slowing down. They're building real alternatives to big tech that put creators first and actually protect free speech. And now there's Rumble Premium, an easy way to upgrade your experience. With Premium, you get ad-free viewing across the platform, no pre-rolls and no interruptions, just the content you came for. Plus, Premium members unlock exclusive content like bonus videos, behind-the-scenes drops, and more from your favorite creators. Right now, Rumble is offering $10 off an annual subscription. Just go to rumble.com/premium and use the promo code STUDIO at checkout. That's rumble.com/premium, promo code STUDIO. No ads, more freedom, and the content you actually care about. That's the deal. And you can also hit this little QR code on your screen to get that going. Okay. So that might be the only ad read. Maybe we'll do that premium ad read only so that we can get more people to head over to premium for the exclusive content. I don't know. Do call-ins? I was thinking about doing call-ins. I might do call-ins, and we'll decide that later. Maybe we can do like yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. Like we could do the Friday show as a call-in show where you guys get to just talk to me. That could be a good idea. I actually like that. I like that. TPH. I'm going to write it down. Call in Friday? Ooh, that's actually a good name, too. Call in Friday. Call in Friday might actually work. And then that would be premium content. Not a bad idea, actually. So, let's I'm gonna give you guys about 5 more minutes, and then we're gonna get into the interview. I'm going to upload the whole video to X so that it's not cut off after 45 minutes. And if you're on premium, you're going to be able to watch the whole thing on here today anyway. But I don't want to take that full content away from Karys, so I'm going to be able to put it on X for her so she can share it so that it's available on that audience as well. Anyway, I want to jump over real quick to this post I just made. It's blowing up, where fucking Senki boy, Senki Uyghur is oh, why did I do that? I put it on the fucking, I have this thing. Senki Uyghur, who's a cunt, has started parroting the talking point that there's no fentanyl coming across the there's no fentanyl coming from Venezuela. That's just made up. I mean, of course, that just must be flour on those fucking boats. Yeah, this must be powdered sugar in those big blue containers. Actually, I can read the whole thing here. There's no fentanyl coming in from Venezuela. We have no idea who we're bombing. Yes, we do. Last time there were survivors, we had to let survivors. These are fucking terrorists. We had to let them go since they were innocent. When? You notice how he just says things and he doesn't actually fucking... I mean, yes, there was a drug boat where we deported 2 people back to their country, but that's not innocent survivors that we quote let go. We just didn't want to bring. We had 2 options. We could go. You can go to your country and get arrested, or you can come to America and get arrested. And we decided to save the taxpayers. So to avoid embarrassment, now we're murdering them, all for multinational oil companies. It's all about the oil. Get the fuck out of here. So I just wrote, my brother died of a fentanyl overdose, you fucking douchebag, and I don't know exactly what shithole third world country it came from exactly, but I know for a fucking fact it was the same shit on those Venezuelan boats we keep blowing up. Eat shit, you propagandist, terror sympathizing cunt. I should write kids' books. Um, this is such a fucking and look, these stupid fucking cunts, right? That they're trying to play the semantics game. Okay, so there's no fentanyl coming from Venezuela. It's not coming from Venezuela. Oh no, it's coming through Venezuela. So it starts wherever it starts. That's where it's from, right? Okay. In that case, well, next time you go to someone's house, right? And I want you to say, "Oh, I just came from my mother's vagina." Right? I just came from the store. I came from my place. No. You have to say your mother's vagina every time you use the word from now. In fact, for the rest of your life, anytime you use the word from, right? Oh, I just came from. Any answer other than my mom's vagina is a lie. You fucking cunt. Yes, it's coming from Venezuela because it's a Venezuelan boat and they loaded it in Venezuela. You fucking morons. This whole fucking like wordplay shit ain't gonna fucking fly with me. I'm autistic. I'm smarter than you. All right, so fucking if anybody gives you that talking point, that is the exact answer I want you to give them. Just be like, where did you come from? Where did you come from? Right? Mom's vagina. Every other answer is wrong. Fucking morons. It's like, dude, what are we doing? What are we doing? Anyway, I just wanted to do that one thing. We're gonna get to the show. We got pretty much 3 hours of content today. We're gonna roll out the premium, like I said. If you guys aren't on premium, you can watch the full interview on my X. But also, I'm going to be with you guys in the chat today as much as I can, because once I roll this this interview out, I'm going to be doing stuff around the house, and I'm going to have it playing on my TV because I haven't rewatched it myself. I don't remember what I said. And I will be in the chat. I'll be able to answer questions, and I'll be able to interact with you on Rumble. And after the first hour, if you're on Rumble Premium, I'll also be on Rumble Premium. So that way, it does feel like a live show, and I'm actually here the whole time. But we just didn't have the Wi-Fi on Monday, so what are you gonna do? All right. Anyway, without further ado, here we go. This is the interview with Karys Rhea. We talked about Nick Fuentes, Myron Gaines, the woke right, so much shit. And it was very fun. There was I only had like 3 or 4 high noons, but by the end of it, I was definitely feeling like I needed to get some food in me. So we went out and got pizza. She's such an awesome person. It was a great time. I appreciate her coming out, and here you go. Good afternoon, Misfits. We're usually live, but today we're going to be doing an in-person show, interview, guest appearance, and I've already made this joke 3 times because we've had technical difficulties and had to restart the show, but I'm going to do the joke again. It's probably not funny to Karys because she's heard it, but bear with me, okay?
Stated.
Welcome to my new studio that I purchased with my own money for many thousands of dollars. This was very expensive. This table was actually hand milled by my grandfather, and my grandmother painted that. This is definitely not the business center of the apartment complex that I live in. This is authentic. This is just prime real estate downtown that I purchased.
Professional podcast studio.
It's a very professional podcast studio. I did not take all of this stuff down from my apartment in a backpack and sneak into the business center of the place that I live and my neighbors could not walk in at any moment. No. I think that everyone gets at this point that I'm being sarcastic, but no. This business center is actually a really nice little place. I didn't realize, how it was going to work out. But we got the camera set up, we got the computer set up, we decided to start the show. We were like, let's go, let's do it live. And 2 minutes and 33 seconds into the show, the Wi-Fi was like, fuck you, dude. So we're doing a pre-record. It wasn't our intention, but I think it's going to be just as good. But we've already done this a couple times. Let's do it for a third time. Karys, my wonderful, lovely guest, tell me a little bit about yourself, what you've been up to on the internet, and how are you? What are you even doing here? What are you doing in San Antonio? Why are you in my apartment complex's building center?
Cool. Well, thanks so much for having me. I'm honored to be your first in-person guest.
In-person guest, yes. You are the canary in the coal mine. You're the trial and error.
Yes.
How do we make this better in the future?
Yeah.
And apparently,
absolutely.
it's get better Wi-Fi.
Right. Yeah.
I'll reach out to the president.
Necessary.
I actually know the owner of this building. I'll tell him I need 1,000, whatever those letters are, Mbps, and I need about a 300-foot cable coming from the modem into the.
Yeah, that would guarantee that you won't have any more live problems. Cool. Well, I'll take your last question first. I am in Austin because there's a number of people here that I have connected with online, such as yourself, Carrie Smith, Alex Stringer, who I've never actually met in person.
He's great.
And, I've discussed with all of you guys coming on your podcast and speaking with you. And I figured since, for example, Alex Stringer required me to be in person to do his conversations in the Pedicab podcast that, for about, I would say probably like 6 or 8 months, I've kind of had it on my mind that I wanted to stop off in Austin on my way to somewhere else. I go to the West Coast a lot, so maybe on the way to the West Coast or on my way back to DC, and actually just meet all of you guys in person and do all of your shows in person. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm staying with a dear friend in Driftwood, right outside Austin. And I get to meet all you guys and actually look you in the eye and say hello instead of through a screen.
It's so much different. Like I talked to Erin Milan when I did her show the other day, and she said, "It's nice to meet you." And I was like, "Well, we haven't even met. Like we're looking at each other through a computer screen." And it is nice to do these in-person things. I think that you see a lot of frenemies or even enemies who have this like certain level of confidence and fakeness because they're behind a screen, and then you see them in person and they're completely different. For instance, Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson, right? It's like Nick Fuentes is this confident little cunt behind the fucking screen when he's in his mom's basement with the fucking ficus in the background. And when he gets in front of Tucker Carlson, he acts like a completely different person. Now, me and you aren't going to have that problem because we like each other. But my point is, I have this thing called window theory. All right. When you're in traffic, all the windows are rolled up. Somebody cuts you off, or somebody slights you, or you don't like their bumper sticker or something like that. People say the meanest shit. They're like, I hope you die, hope you crash, hope your children grow up without a father. Put yourself in that same car, roll the windows down, and put yourself in a parking lot, right? And somebody walks by and you don't like a shirt that they're wearing or something like that. You don't say shit.
Of course.
Right? You don't say shit because there are real consequences that can happen.
Well, I have a great story about that. Just hanging out with Myron Gaines or Amrud Fadel, whatever his name is.
You know what I love? I always wanted to find out. I still don't know the answer to this. Is it Foodle like poodle, or is it fuddle like huddle?
I have a feeling that neither of those are correct because neither sounds like an Arabic pronunciation of a last name.
He doesn't have enough vowels in his last name. It's Fudl, right? Like, oh yeah, maybe it is kind of like Haji, like Fudal.
Yeah, I don't know. I happened to be with him because I was hanging out with some of like the Tim Pool crew, and they had just done a live episode with him, and I was shocked at the difference in how he acted in person, right?
He's fake, yeah.
Well, it wasn't just that. It was, he's part of the whole manosphere culture, and his whole MO is being this confident alpha male.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yet
Shut up, go make me a sandwich.
and yet in person, he was so fidgety, kind of moving right to left, kind of couldn't stand still. He would not look me in the eye. And I didn't present myself as some sort of hostile, adversary to begin with. So he probably thought I was a fan, and yet he would not look me in the eye. And I was like, is this guy autistic or something? And I wasn't sure because I didn't really see if he looked other people in the eye, but that doesn't come across on the screen.
Yeah.
How blatantly insecure this person was.
It's funny that you said that. I'm autistic. I got tested. My SRS2 score is 80, which is...
I don't know what that means.
81 is like you should be wearing a helmet, but it actually started because there were people. I was tested when I was younger. My mom told me, you're autistic, right? You're high functioning autistic. Mm-hmm. We tested you when you were 10, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I don't have the paperwork. And then there were people online that were like, you never look in the camera and your mannerisms are autistic. And I go, yeah, I'm autistic. And then you know how the internet works. Bunch of fucking weirdos were like, oh, Misfit's pretending to be autistic. And I go, it's not even something that I talk about, right? Yeah. It's like, I'm a Misfit, I'm autistic. Like, I'm not that guy with the golf club. Like, it was just something that happened in passing. But I thought it would be funny to go get tested as an adult. So I found this behavioral health center and I went and got the autistic test. And it's like 370 questions plus an in-person interview. And they were like, yeah, you display behavioral patterns of high functioning autistic, and your SRS2 score is 80. And I was like, okay, and it's on a graph, right? So it's like this color graph. Starts off with white, then light gray, then darker and darker and darker gray. And like where they put me on the dot, it's like super dark gray. Where I was like, oh shit.
Wait, but what does that mean? Like, what is the SRS score? This is literally like the diagnostic of how autistic you are?
It's the objective part of the diagnostic test for autism. It's very difficult to diagnose autism in adults. Like, the first person that tested me wouldn't give me a conclusive diagnosis. They gave me sort of like a probably autistic, and then I went and got a secondary opinion, and they were like, no, you're based off of your test results, you're like 100% autistic. Okay. And you know how it's a spectrum. And I don't really, like I said, I don't care. I didn't want to go this far off into the weeds about my autism. I'm just saying, it's funny you say that, because there are so many people out there that they're like, they don't look people. I think that I don't think Myron's autistic is pretty much what I'm saying, right? Because I've been talking to you and I look you in the eye and then I don't, but my mannerisms, my behavior, it's not autism. I think the reason that Myron might have been acting that way is because in real life, I think he's afraid of women.
Oh yeah.
That's what I think.
Well, he's just tremendously insecure with himself, and that came across so transparently. Yeah. And it was because he tries to act so confident on screen that I was actually so aware of how polar opposite he was in real life.
Yeah, and again, it's like you hear these people, this is what, like, the culture of social media is always, it's fascinated me so much. This is kind of why I'm even in this space. Like, this isn't what I do for a living. I own my own company. I do construction, but this fascinates me. And that's why I do it. Like, I'm actually truly interested in what's going on here. And then I use it to troll people. I'm sort of doing this like one-man social experiment that I'm not sharing with anybody else, and I'm not collecting data on paper, just up in my mind, where I'm just observing this. Like, so you have Nick Fuentes, for instance, we talked about. He's going around talking about how people should get married younger and they should be, but he's a 26, 27-year-old virgin. Never had a girlfriend.
Right.
Myron Gaines doesn't have a girlfriend.
Well, but
I've never seen Myron Gaines with a woman. I think
doesn't
said
he
one.
also? But Nick Fuentes, how can he even say that in one breath when in the next breath he says blatantly, "Getting married is gay."
Yeah.
And like.
No, he says no. He doesn't even say getting married is gay. He's saying dating women is gay, right? So when I watched a clip of him where he was talking about, he's like, dating is gay. Andrew Tate says the same thing, right?
Yeah, and he was like, actually, the most straight thing you can do is like never have a girlfriend or not get married or like something like that.
Well, when Andrew Tate says it, it makes sense because Andrew Tate is sort of this like pseudo,
like a womanizer,
he's
like a player, and
pseudo Muslim, if you want to put it that way. Andrew Tate's not, in my opinion, a real Muslim because of, like he gambles, he smokes, and he doesn't like. He's just like Dan Blazarian. So I call the people with the Christian, like the Crisis King people, I call them Chat GPT Christians. I think Andrew Tate's a Chat GPT Muslim, right? Where it's like an influencer Muslim,
sure.
a Muslim that just pulls whatever parts of the Quran that fit into.
But how does that
his message? The same thing with Christians. Candace Owens I would not call her a Christian. I would say she's like some pseudo Christian or Chat GPT Christian, where she goes, well, I'm just, there's a cross behind me, so I'm a Christian, and you now have to take me seriously as a Christian.
Well, John Root calls them Christless Christians.
Yes, and you see, like, well, look at John Root. John Root, I think he's a little much. I think and look, this is not me talking shit about him, but I think that there are Christians that go a little too hard in their soapbox ish, judgment of others, right? It's like, yes, rebuke, but at what point does it get into judgment, and at what point does it get into, you sound a little high and mighty? But I like John Root. I like Allie B. Stuckey. I'm just saying these are the two ends of the spectrum. You have Allie B. Stuckey and John Root, and you have Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes, right? And I would align way more towards the Allie B.
Wait, you think that Allie B. and John are like the opposite side of like Candace Owens?
I think they're more purists,
okay.
Whereas you're having Candace Owens who are just completely not doing Christianity, right? Where they're like, you have them do, they're closer to what a true Christian is, but they're also.
I just tend not to be judgmental about, or even just critical of people's approaches who I know are well intentioned and who are on our side. Well, right?
I told you before we started.
Because we all have our own ways that we do things.
Put it this way: before we started, we were talking.
Like, you're a vulgar troll.
Yes. Before we started, we talked about how I was just dumped by my Christian girlfriend because of my language online. Right. Her reasoning was that she thinks that what I'm doing is not Christ-like. And I was like, well, you call people retarded. And she goes, and she didn't have an answer for that, and it led to a fight, and we split ways amicably. And I'm not saying this about everybody. What I am saying is, I think there are some people, let's not say John Root or Allie B. Stuckey specifically, but there are some Christians who are on a soapbox. And I think that soapbox is absolutely 100% correct when they're criticizing somebody like Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes, but maybe sometimes a little too much when they're criticizing somebody like me, right? Where it's like, you know what? Look, we're all imperfect, blah, blah, blah. I think I'm getting a little bit sidetracked here, but because you brought up John Root, I like John Root. I think he's great. But if you look at him, what does he have? A family. He has a family where he's Charlie Kirk said, have more kids that you can afford, right? And then did it. Nick Fuentes, no kids, no wife, no
probably no friends.
He really doesn't. I mean, if you think about it, everybody who's ever been Nick's friend in the influencer space, he cuts ties with, because they're not sycophants. They don't like, I think it was Sneeko or some shit. He's like, oh, I need ride or dies. It's like, who the fuck are you, dude? who the fuck are you to say that people have to agree with you or you're not? Like, I think, and this is also something that I think is a deeper conversation with the culture of influencers, right? There's these influencers, they get so much affirmation from people who don't really know them, right? It's like a bunch of anonymous trolls. Like everything that they talk about is, I'm the #1 podcast. I have so many likes. Nick Fuentes has so many views. Who fucking cares?
They put so much stake in these ideas of like followers and views and.
I jumped in an Uber the other day. I've been doing this more and more, with like random people. I don't film it every time, but I did it. I was at the bar the other day or 2 weeks ago with a buddy of mine. And we were out, he's smoking a cigarette, and I'm just out there hanging out with him. And I just looked over at these 3 guys that were sitting, and I go, "Do you guys know who Nick Fuentes is?"
What'd they say?
No.
Yeah.
Right? No. And they were young guys. And I was like, and then the other day in an Uber, I did film it. I go, "Do you know who Nick Fuentes is?" And the guy goes, "No." And my point is, right, this false reality that people live in on social media, where they're getting millions of people like me. Do they? Right? Do millions of people like you because millions of people went click on a thumb?
100%. But I also think that the argument that it's like just online is dangerous.
You're 100% correct, right? What I say,
because you only need a small minority of a population
trans
to
think the trans are 1% of the population,
right, to kind of shape the culture and move it in a specific direction, and especially if that small percentage is revolutionary, oriented in that way, the identitarians on the right are, then it can be very, very damaging and dangerous.
Lately, I've been calling the Groypers, the Fuentes, the Myron Gaines. It's like they're trans Nazis, right? They're not Nazis in the sense of they are actual white supremacist neo-Nazis. Like I'm talking like Deep South skinheads would kick the fucking dog shit out of them.
Well, they're updated. No, they're internet Nazis. They're updated. These are the new Nazis in 2025.
This is what I mean by trans Nazis, right? What is a trans person, right? It's a male pretending to be a female, dressing up as a female, or a female pretending to be a man, dressing up as a man. Myron Gaines is a black Sudanese white supremacist. It's a trans Nazi.
Did you hear him? Get his words handed to him by a bunch of actual white supremacists, like skinheads?
No.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
Was this recent?
Yeah, I think
in person.
Canary Mission pulled it up. It's on their X feed, and it was them just recording some sort of online conversation that Myron Gaines was having.
Well, no, we're doing pre-record, so we can add it. Right.
Yeah.
Here you go, guys. Here's the video.
This interesting. Can I make this interesting real quick? Myron, you were in my space the other day, and I said, you're doing a great job calling out these Jews, but, if we take this country back, we want it for white folks. And would you go home? And you said, I was born here, and I'm not going anywhere. And this is where I think the problem is with working with non-whites, is that once you think you help us, that you're just going to stay in our country. Do you still stand with that answer?
Bro, look, man, I know you're trying to get a clippable moment here for your fucking...
No, it's the truth, man. This is the issue with whites working with non-whites.
We're over here talking about a problem, then you bring it right back into, this whole white thing. Like, dude, shut the fuck up.
This whole white thing is what built this country, Myron.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
Hey, you fucking sand nigger. You sand nigger.
Hey,
I am in Florida. I'm in Florida, and I will knock you out on camera. Why do you Browns think you could stay in my country? Why?
Look at this fucking guy. Look,
no, it's the truth. You didn't build this country, Myron. You're not from here. You're not from this country. Why do you think you can stay?
Anyway,
you're an invader.
Nothing to do with you.
You hate the Jews, but at the same time, you are a Jewish bioweapon. You are a Jewish bioweapon, Myron.
Shut up.
Yes, I am. My DNA test is out there, Myron.
Get the fuck out of here, dude. You're a fucking Mexican. Shut the fuck up, Jorge. Over here trying to sit there and say, I'm white.
My DNA test is out there, Myron. Is yours? Is yours, Myron?
Right now, faggot. Shut up. Shut the fuck up.
Sam, this is what I'm talking about. If you want to be pro-white, and you have non-whites in here that are naming the Jew, right? And they don't want to go home after we defeat the Jew, then you're going to be in a sticky situation with the pro-whites that help you
Well,
get
listen,
to your
as
cause.
I already said,
Like, I don't think white supremacy is a bad thing. I don't have an issue with whites saying like, yo, our country was founded by whites and needs to stay a majority white. I don't have an issue with you guys being able to, want to keep your race white. Like, hey, we don't want interracial marriages, etc. I've been a stark defender of white people being able to have this and be able to practice it without people calling them fucking racist. But then I get dickheads like this Mexican fuck coming in here.
I'm not
talking
Mexican,
shit
you sand
for no
nigger.
reason. I've actually served my country. What the fuck have you done, faggot?
What
You've
did you
done nothing
serve,
but be a
Zog? You
degenerative
served Zog?
faggot.
You served Zog?
You've been
You
doing
served
nothing
Zog.
but
You
throwing.
went
Because
you went and fought a war
here's the
for
thing,
Jews?
asshole.
You're full
I
of
don't bet.
shit,
I don't
non-white
gamble.
fucking scumbag.
I don't gamble. You
You
fucking
get,
beaner.
oh yeah, but you pimp out white kids to go be degenerates, you fucking scumbag.
I was born and fucking raised here. This is
Oh
my
my
country. I
God.
put my life on the line for this country. I've took a pledge of allegiance for this
you.
country.
Thank
What
you,
have you
bro.
done?
I was
What have you
born
done? Have
here,
you even served this
bro.
country?
Hey man, I
Have
was
you
a
even served this
Mexican
country?
born here too, bro. I'm a
hey,
Mexican
hey,
born
hey,
here.
hey,
If everything was fine and all the Jews were removed and we had everything fine, people could go back to their own countries and have wonderful lives. But for some reason, the non-whites who say they were born here, right, think that they can stay here, and it goes against nature.
we
So
don't
it's not
we don't
feasible.
we don't
So that's
know
why it's
how
a
we're
pointless
going to resolve
conversation.
we don't know how we're going to resolve the immigration population issue down the road once we deal with the Jewish question.
It's amazing. Yeah, definitely add it because they were all just like, dude, the problem with you is you yell about like the Jews, but like you yourself are brown, and so once all the Jews are gone, like you need to get out of here too, and yet you're all talking about how you're American and stuff like that, and all of a sudden it just devolved into this like, fuck you man, no fuck you, no fuck you. It's just like the most low IQ guttural conversation that you could ever behold, and you're just like, how are these people publicly recognized as having valuable things to say?
This is the problem with this glazing that's going on. And look, I'm a pretty big fan of Steven Crowder. I like Steven Crowder. I think that he's pretty fair. I like how when he does his shows, he goes, this is the information that we're going to reference. I mean, he's the one that first dropped the Nashville shooter trans. He's done some great undercover work.
Yeah.
And
he's done some great stuff exposing the CCP.
And I even see it kind of affecting him, where I'm like, I'm not fully like, I'm not saying anything. Let's see what happens. But he's gonna have Nick Fuentes on Thursday, and what bothers me is not that he's gonna have him on. Just like it doesn't bother me that Tucker Carlson has him on. I actually want Nick Fuentes platformed by as many people as possible, because I think that when people actually hear his ideas, they're going to reject them. But I don't.
The problem is he moderates them.
This is the problem
for these people.
I do not like the talking point of Nick Fuentes has some valid concerns, and I agree with him on a lot, right? Because what it's kind of like saying is Hitler had some good ideas.
Yeah, of course. Of
right?
course.
And it's like, and you, while what you're saying may be 100% true, and the way that I frame it, and this is how I say it, right? Instead of saying Nick Fuentes, I say the reactionary right has valid grievances, right? I mean, think about a bunch of young, white, disaffected men that were told that they were fucking pieces of shit Nazis by the woke left for years, and their grievance is real. The grievance is, I'm a fucking person too, right? I'm a fucking person too. You get to say that you have black pride, and I don't get to say that I have white pride. That's a valid grievance.
No, they're shamed. They're like, you've just shamed me for being white and for being male. Like,
correct.
That is completely discriminatory.
Now, reactionary right having a valid grievance does not mean that their reaction should be validated.
No, of course
right?
not. Of
So
course.
the reactionary right has a valid grievance. True. Their reaction is valid. Untrue.
Right.
Right? Because what their reaction is, I'm going to do what you did to me to you.
Victimhood culture.
Yes.
Authoritarianism, all that kind of stuff.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's like
Bullying,
you can't say the reactionary right, which is the Groypers, right? That's what they claim.
Well, it's a lot more than the Groypers.
No.
That's part of it.
The reactionary right is the woke right. The woke right is the reactionary right. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. But what the reactionary right has become is the woke right? Where if you are now playing, and I don't know if you've ever heard my definition of woke right, because I like James Lindsay, but he makes it way too fucking complicated. He sounds too much like Jordan
He's
Peterson.
quite the intellectual.
Yeah, and look, it's great that he's an intellectual, but you're being an intellectual to a group of retards. It's like you have to speak retard like me. Like I am really good at dumbing shit down. Mm-hmm. So the way that I describe it is the woke right is essentially it's an identitarian.
You can't say identitarian to
okay.
retards.
Let's say this. It's identity politics with a victim mentality. Okay. They are hyper fixated on race. That might even be too big.
I think you can even dumb it down further to just talk about how they want power at the expense of everything else.
Well, to dumb it down the dumbest way possible, it's the woke right is people on the right that act like the left.
Right.
Right, which is what they're doing, right?
Under the guise of conservative principles.
Yes. So, but it's still pretty dumb to say that the woke left, what does woke mean? It means awake, right? And how was woke, the term woke created? Well, it was the black community waking up to the oppressor of the white man.
Right.
Woke, awake, oppressor, white man. Boom. Very easy. Okay. Woke left. Woke right is just people being awake on the right to the oppressor, the Jews. Or globalists.
Well, I think the more acceptable term is Zionists.
Zionists, yes.
Right?
But
so
you know what the funny thing
Nick will say Jews, but Tucker Carlson won't say Jews. But Tucker Carlson will use all of the same anti-Semitic lies and just replace the word Jews with Zionists as if that makes it okay. As if over 90% of Jews don't identify as Zionists.
If we created a word where black people who think that Africa should exist, right? This is what this word applies to, right? Call them Blionists, right? Mm-hmm. A Blionist is a black person who thinks that Africa should be able to live in Africa.
That it should be the indigenous homeland of
black people. The indigenous homeland of black people, and they should not be slaughtered by Muslims. Okay. This is Blionist, okay?
Exactly.
If somebody said, I don't hate black people, I hate Blionists, they would be saying, I hate black people, right?
And yeah, it's acceptable today to say, I just hate Zionists. I don't
correct,
hate
right? So this is, and by the way, this is the first time I ever used the word Blionist, so it's a working title, but I just created that in the moment. But it's actually a good way to describe the gaslighting that's going on, where they're saying, oh no, it's not Jews, it's Zionists. Well, it's kind of like the left saying, I don't hate white people. Right? It's like, yeah, you fucking do. AOC will still marry.
I don't hate white people. I just hate like racists and misogynists.
I don't hate white people. I just hate any white person that doesn't agree with me.
Right. Yeah, no, I guess racist and misogynist wouldn't be the right metaphor, because then that paints Zionism as if it has some negative connotation, which it doesn't.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, stop fucking pissing on my back and telling me it's raining outside.
Well, Tucker is the king of this. The king.
Well, the thing about Tucker...
Especially when it comes to Fuentes. Did you see him on Sean Ryan the other day?
Yes, I did. And
when Sean was like, what does Nick Fuentes actually believe? And Tucker was like,
is that a question?
Tucker's just like, oh, he just believes that our institutions and our governments have failed us.
It's like, no, that's not.
No, that's not just what Nick Fuentes believes. It's unbelievable.
Going back to Steven Crowder, this is what I'm talking about with the glossing, right? When you, it's kind of like what they did with Kamala Harris or Joe Biden in an interview on CNN. Right, where it's like they're only saying the good things, and they're not asking any tough questions, and they're giving them these. It's not about platforming, right? It's not about having them on. It's about how you're having them on, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, are you propagandizing for them? Are you
promoting?
Yes. Are you trying to make them more palatable, mm-hmm. right? Or are you genuinely like asking real questions that you want? And I don't like how Steven Crowder approaches the issue of, well, Nick Fuentes has never said anything like, like he's not saying he wants to kill all Jews. Yes, he fucking did.
He actually said that.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, and maybe Steven Crowder just hasn't seen the clip. It's possible, But
You
I
know
like
what?
to think that he does his own research good enough.
So many clips, my goodness.
And that's what I mean, where it's like I'm really hoping, because I watched Steven Crowder with Myron Gaines, and he wasn't very tough on him at all, but I still think it was a good interview, because what Steven Crowder did was he lowered his defenses and he let Myron Gaines talk, right? And I think he'll do the same thing with Nick. I think he'll be respectful to Nick.
Nick is much more high IQ than Myron Gaines.
Oh, 1,000%. But I mean, that's the low bar.
Yeah,
It's like fucking,
that's
my
true.
dog is smarter than fucking Myron Gaines.
Yeah.
But no, what I'm saying is, I saw the debate with Dinesh D'Souza and Nick. Can't wait to I'm having Dinesh on soon. I can't
Great.
wait to talk to him about
Yeah,
it.
he's lovely.
Dinesh is fucking like out of Nick Fuentes' league as far as intellectual, right? As
Sure.
far as knowledgeable. However, I was actually impressed with how well Nick did. I was like, Nick's actually not an idiot, is what I got out of that. What I also realized when I watched that debate is I didn't realize at the time, Nick's 26 years old. Right? He's acting like a 26-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
He's acting like a Gen Zer.
Right.
Right, and I hate to sound boomer right now. I'm 40, and I think that when I was Nick's age, I was a fucking idiot. Like, I think I remember being dumb at 26. And at 26, I was doing coke off of a toilet seat in Florida, like in a handicapped bathroom, and I was sleeping around, and I was doing a bunch of shit that I shouldn't be doing because I was a young dumb fuck. Right.
Yeah.
And you need life experience. I don't
Right.
do that
No,
anymore.
Nick is
now I
calculating.
now I run my own business. Now I go to church.
Mm-hmm.
Now I live a life that I think I can be proud of. And I hope, I don't want to say think, I hope that Nick will get there eventually. And I'm not embarrassed about anything that I used to do, right? But I acknowledge that I shouldn't have been doing it. And I hope that one day Nick will feel the same way about what he's doing right now. My shit wasn't on
Not
camera.
if he becomes more and more powerful.
But
he'll
my
only
shit
be
wasn't on.
emboldened.
Yeah, my shit wasn't on camera.
Right.
Right. Like, my shit wasn't on camera. All of the
I
fucking
think that makes all the difference in the
dumb
world.
ideas that I had weren't out there having millions of people see them. If they were,
But this
I
is
think that I would be super embarrassed.
But this is the problem with all of these people like Steven Crowder and Tim Pool and whatever who want to have Nick on their shows.
We can talk about
It's like, go for it, but be honest about who you are talking to here. Like, all you have to do, it's so simple.
I think.
Just quote Nick's own words to him.
Thank you.
Why literally quote what Nick says about raping women
Why-
and about dying and raping and pillaging in the name of Nick Fuentes and about killing all the minorities off should somebody like Nick seize power. Just quote him to Nick.
You know what I'm gonna do? I have Gerald watches my shit. We have a good rapport. So I'm gonna clip this right now. Gerald, this is for you. Okay, I'm going to clip this. I hope that you will take our advice on this. You have Nick Fuentes coming on Thursday. Can you be the first person ever to have Nick Fuentes watch Nick Fuentes and respond to Nick Fuentes? Because that would be fucking fantastic.
And literally just go, if you're looking for the best montages of Nick Fuentes, because there's Milk Bar TV, Nathan Livingstone.
And Gerald and them love Nathan, right? Yeah. Nathan and me are really good friends. He puts together the best compilations about anybody. And you don't have to play 5 minutes of Nick Fuentes. Let's play the clip. I mean, I'm not telling you how to do your job, but here's one I would suggest. The clip where Nick is talking about if the Groypers ever got into power, the religious Jews should be given the death penalty.
Not just the religious Jews, other minorities too.
Other minorities and religious Jews should be given the death penalty. Because Steven Crowder said he wouldn't have on Hassan Piker because he's calling for the death of people. That is Nick calling for the death of people.
of many people. He also made his... He also...
Well, do you know what he said about me?
No, what did he say?
Nick Fuentes, somebody... You know how he reads off his super chats? Somebody was like, what do you think of Misfit Patriot? And Nick goes on this like 3-minute tirade about me, and he's like, he's just an idiot and this, and then he ends it with, in a better world, he would be killed by the government and turned into dog food and served to the poor.
Yeah.
And look, here's the thing. Everyone keeps telling me that he's joking. And
oh my God.
Hold on. No, but they're right.
It doesn't matter.
No. They're right. But it's a false binary.
How do you know they're right?
No.
How does anybody know what's in his heart or his mind?
Let me finish. There's a false binary between trolling, joking, hyperbole, and what you really believe. When you can establish a pattern of behavior of real worldviews, and then that person who has these real worldviews tells a joke about their real worldviews, it's both. Right? So, yes, sure, it's a joke. He also believes it. So it would be like me making a joke about trans people, right? Like I believe there are two genders. I believe they are mentally ill people. But if I did a hyperbolic joke about how fucking tranny want to cut his dick off, right? It's like, you can't just say I'm only joking. You have to say I'm joking, but I also believe it.
But also, it's just so ignorant of the unbelievable preponderance of evidence we have about somebody like Nick Fuentes, who has literally been doing this since like 2015.
Yeah.
And he's been saying the same stuff about Hitler, not just Team Hitler in one post, but multiple comments, like over a dozen comments about Hitler being, him just loving Hitler and
so
all this
Hitler,
kind of stuff.
it's Hitler Friday.
So much stuff about
it's Hitler Friday, nigga.
Yeah. It's just endless. There's so much material there, and it's like these podcasters and these show hosts who have him on, it's like they're willfully ignorant. They don't want to actually look at the preponderance of what he's said over and over again. They'll hear one bad thing he said, and then they'll be like, "Oh, I only heard him say this one bad thing."
Well, to go back to the Myron Gaines Steven Crowder thing, Myron Gaines, he turned it down to like a 3 out of an 11, right? Because when you're sitting across from somebody that disagrees with you, right? And this is what we started off with, right? When you're in person, a lot different, right?
Yeah.
I think if Myron Gaines tried to act like Myron Gaines in front of Steven Crowder would have been like, "Are you fucking retarded?" And Myron Gaines knows that.
Sure. So does Fuentes.
Fuentes
knows he's not going to get away on Tucker Carlson saying that like raping women is cool.
Exactly. Now this is my point, right? So what they do, it's more like it's not like they don't believe what they're saying. It's kind of like the Muslim practice of taqiyya, right? Where it's right.
It's a good analogy.
It's like you're just you're tamping it down and you're trying not to go full send,
so that you can gain more and more power down the line and actually achieve your end goal.
It's a network. Yeah, they're playing the game. It's a network, right? So I'm actually giving no fault to Steven Crowder. I do give fault to Tucker Carlson, but I don't know.
I give fault to all of them. I think if you're a journalist,
I think it's a high standard.
But why are they having? You have to like really break this down. If you ask Steven Crowder or Tim Pool or whoever else, why do you want to have Nick Fuentes on his show? They'll likely say one of a few different things. They'll say one, well, because he's
super
really
influential.
He's really popular right now, and we want to understand him.
That's
right?
The Steven Crowder approach.
Two, they'll say. Because we think that he has an important message, even though some of the stuff he says, might be like.
Well, he represents a group of people, right? He's representing this disaffected youth, the reactionary right, which I was talking about.
If those are your genuine reasons, right? In other words, like it all comes down to they're acting as if they want to understand and they want to accurately represent. So if he comes on their shows and he does this dumbing down thing, right, this kind of moderation of his views, and if you end up having a discussion that is not actually representative of the Nick Fuentes who speaks to his own audience every single week,
that's glossing.
That is, you're actually not being honest because you're not honestly representing who this person is and what he believes.
Okay,
that's your journalistic responsibility if that's your goal.
Let me play devil's advocate and steelman their argument, right? Some people would argue, well, if I just have him on and scream at him the whole time, then I'm not going to get the true
Who
Nick
said
Fuentes.
anything about screaming?
Exactly. Right. So the argument they will make is, well, if I just bring him on and call him a piece of shit the whole time, then I'm not going to get the true Nick Fuentes either.
You have to call people a piece of shit.
Why not do this? Right? Why not do this? Why not just do a hard pressing interview that's respectful? Now, I think that Charlie Kirk,
Oh my God, what an idea.
If you watch 10 years of Nick Fuentes, right, you'd have an idea of who Nick Fuentes is. If you watch 10 years of Charlie Kirk, you'd have a good idea of who Charlie Kirk is, right? If you had on like Charlie Kirk, you wouldn't have any, like, let's say a leftist had him on, right, and wanted to do a true journalistic interview.
Mm-hmm.
They would go, Charlie, you said that you used to say Muslims would throw gay people off of buildings,
right,
and now they don't have any more tall buildings. Do you think that's insensitive? That's a good question.
Yeah.
And that's a hard question,
right,
that Charlie Kirk would now have to answer for. Right? So you can do that to Nick Fuentes.
I know.
It's not hard to do real journalism,
right,
and real interviews where you're really trying to get, like, without an agenda. Like, if you're afraid of his audience coming after you, if the reason you bring him on is for clicks and views, you've already fucked up. Like, you're not doing it for any right reason.
But I also think there's another element to this, which is when people like Nick Fuentes, who have incredibly violent and very, very guttural views that are based on the most primal animal instincts of man, when you mainstream somebody like that, the logical next step is that you start having discussions about, like, whether it's okay to rape women or not. Do we really want to have that discussion? Like, for the people who are like, we should fight this all out in the marketplace of ideas. I don't believe in cancel culture, right? Let's if somebody has wrong ideas, let's debate with them. Let's show them the right way. Do we really want to, as a conservative movement, do we really want to be having conversations about whether it's cool to punch women in the face or not? Do we really want to be having conversations if the 6 million Jews who got murdered in the Holocaust actually deserved it? Like, is that the level of conversation that we want the conservative movement reduced to? This
is what I've been saying, right? It's like, you have an opportunity to define the conservative movement right now, because we are at an inflection point where I have no problem with platforming. I have a problem with legitimizing, right? And to gaslight me and say, you can't tell me I can't have Nick Fuentes on,
when
because
you never said that to begin with.
When that's what I never fucking said that. And nobody's saying, listen, fine, Mark Levin is kind of saying it, okay? It's like, fine, Mark Levin is kind of saying it. I don't agree with him, and he's the minority. He's the exception, he's not the rule. Okay? And even Charlie Kirk was like, don't fucking platform him. Even Charlie Kirk was like, don't legitimize him. I think we're at a point where you do have to platform him, right? And what is platforming? What does that even... Somebody said to me the other day, they go, if you had Nick Fuentes on, he'd be platforming you. And I'm like, well, not if he's on my platform, because that's what platforming is. If you're platforming somebody, it means you're taking your platform and having them on. Right.
Well, I don't know if I agree with you, because, okay, like
you can say boosting. You're not boosting him.
Well, the whole discussion about whether we should platform like somebody like Nick Fuentes is too general of a conversation to me. If Tucker Fuentes wants to talk to Nick Fuentes, I'm like you. I'm like, go for it, because that's who you want to talk to.
Correct.
But why do you want to talk to this guy? The only reason is because he's popular among young boys. But there's tons of people who are popular that we don't have on because we have principles as conservatives.
You could have a conversation with like moderate caste, somebody who like you could have a conversation with a young Gen Zer, right? Who's, I guess moderate case is not the best example.
I'm just saying that we are always deciding. We are, according to this logic of like, we shouldn't be canceling people or censoring them or free speech. we're all engaged in cancel culture and censoring people all the time by that definition, because we decide who we want to feature and promote versus who we don't. By their definition, that's cancel culture. That's censorship. That's ridiculous.
Would you have on, like if you had a show, would you have on Dylan Mulvaney to talk to him?
Exactly.
Right? Like if you
like now, maybe, but the point is that.
But hold on. But if you do that, are you platforming?
Wait, I have a question, and this is the most important question of the entire show. Since this is pre-recorded, can I go pee?
Yes.
Because I drank way too much water driving here, and I should have.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's where we're gonna pause the first part of the interview, and we're gonna be jumping to premium. So if you guys haven't already, go to rumble.com/premium. Use promo code STUDIO, and you can watch the rest of the show. I am going to upload this entire interview onto X, so if you don't want to pay, you can still see it. But like I said earlier, because we are jumping into, I sound like a Sally, because we're jumping into the Rumble Creator Program, we do need to start uploading 5 hours of premium content every month, and we're gonna put the rest of the show on Rumble into the premium category. So I am going to cut you off on the YouTubes and the X